Good morning, my friends. I'm not awake yet, but I'm on my way into town. It is a bright and beautiful Sunday morning, though I believe it must have gotten kind of chilly in the night. Today, we're going to continue our First Impressions series with GL Pease Windjammer. Pop this puppy open. That's a nice clean topper. That's a little different. Got two more in there. Oh no, that isn't two more. Oh, hey, I didn't realize that. That's all flake. But it's not solid flake. It looks like it's like already rubbed. See that? There. Get the sun right. That's all like a ready rubbed flake. Oh, wow. I can smell a very light tobacco. And something else in the background. Maybe a rum flavor or scent. But very light. Very light. This could be interesting. Well, I'm going to finish rubbing some of this out, throw it in my pipe, and get back with you. All right, so got it packed up. I did the char light. Let's get to it. This could be really good. It really could. Well, let's get on the road. All right, and away we go. Wow. That's interesting. So far, it's a light tobacco flavor, and I'm talking like the classic tobacco flavor. With just a hint of something else in the background that I can't quite pinpoint. Medium bodied. light smoke. Hmm. This, this could very well be very interesting. It's got kind of an interesting mouth feel to it. Yes, it does. So I'm going to smoke this down a little ways, and I'll come back to you in the final third with my final thoughts. Well, not final, but my real first impression. We'll go over it in detail at that time. I'll see you in a little bit. All right. Well, I'm down to the last third. And I have a report. This is a different kind of a blend that I'm used to. Once you get down to about the halfway point, okay, the body increases exponentially almost. It becomes a much more full-bodied smoke. And the entire blend seems to be centered around that just pure old-fashioned tobacco flavor. But there is a hint of rum that begins to come in near the bottom of the first third. And it stays kind of in the background. It's not real present throughout any of the bowl. It's just a very mild hint. And there's also a nuttiness that shows up, and I can't identify what nut other than the one smoking it. But I can't really identify which nut it is. Just that it is a nutty essence to the flavor profile. That's a little better. And the nicotine on it actually isn't bad. I'd say it's medium, maybe. Let's finally go ahead and read the tin. See what it has to say, because I haven't even read the tin yet. Let's see. Windjammer. A rich and satisfying cut cake. Oh, well, that would have told me what kind of a cut it was. Compromising sweet, ripe Virginias, nutty Burleys, unflavored toasted black Cavendish, and a generous measure of Perique. I don't taste any of the Perique in there. That's interesting. A splash of dark rum ties it all together and adds a bit more sweetness. As you enjoy the slow, clean-burning flake, you'll find hints of cocoa, black walnuts, and dried fruit. enhancing complex natural tobacco goodness. Full on the palate with a delightful aroma. Enjoy sweet sailing with Windjammer. Funny thing is, I don't get the cocoa, walnuts, unless that's just the nutty flavor, and I don't get any dried fruits. But maybe that's just my palate, you know. Like I said, I'm just starting in this English blend thing. So it could be that my palate just isn't developed enough to catch on to those flavors. As I have said in the past, I am not an expert on this. I wouldn't say that this has got any kind of a wow factor to it. What I will say is that I believe that this is one that would really grow on you over time. Oh, and I believe I forgot to mention the peppery spice to the retro, which actually is pretty nice. I like that. It's not a bad blend at all. But like I said, you know, I'm just starting out in in my English journey, as it were. So it could be that my palate's just not developed enough for this particular blend yet. So after this review, what I may do is decant this and hold on to it. And hold on to it for 6 months to a year and go back to it and try it again. It could be that my palate just needs to develop to the point where I can get those more subtle, nuanced flavors. But it's still not a bad blend, even with what I do taste. That slight rum hint is only vaguely sweet. It's not what I would consider to be a sweet flavor, but it does add just a tiny bit of sweetness to it. The nuttiness, I can't identify the nut, but the nuttiness is there, most certainly. But it's way in the background. I don't know where they get cocoa because I'm not getting that quite yet. If I were to rate this right now from 1 to 10, I think my current rating would be a 5. It's not quite to what I would consider to be my taste, either extreme of my taste. But it's not bad at all. I mean, this would be an easy all-day smoke. It is full-bodied. It's got a decent kick of nicotine to it. But it doesn't seem to be to my personal taste at this point in time. Which is why I think I'm going to decant this and come back to it in 6 months or a year. And see what I think of it then. That's the one thing I have discovered about smoking a pipe. If you take a blend and you don't think it's bad, it's just not really to your taste, decant it, let it sit, let it age for 6 months or a year, and let your palate develop. And once your palate has begun to develop a little more, sometimes your taste will shift, or you'll try it again whether your tastes have shifted or not, and you'll be able to catch more of the nuances of the flavor out of it. It's really an interesting thing, if you want the truth. because there's a lot of things that have to happen for all of that to occur. And I'm more referring to a biological standpoint than anything else. But the way the body functions and the mind functions are actually rather fascinating. Yeah, that subtle hint of rum, and I mean subtle hint of rum, the nuttiness. Actually, the nuttiness is above the rum, if you want the truth. The rum just surprised me. I thought that was just a trick of the scent. You know, when I first smelled the can, I thought, oh, probably the tobaccos are mixing together and kind of giving a little bit of that scent to it. But apparently they actually put some sort of a dark rum into it. Something I was not aware of. Or at least I didn't remember. It's not bad at all. So just because I gave it a 5, please don't think that it's a bad blend or, whatever. This is just according to my personal taste at the moment, which honestly can change in 6 months, 3 months sometimes. So it's not a bad blend, guys. It's not. And before I put it away, I'll probably have one more bowl of it just to see if my initial thoughts were correct. But I think I'm definitely going to decant this and give it some time. I think it would really go good. Hmm. The peppery spice to that retro does add a bit to this. It really does. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Well, I think that's going to do it for me. This has been a first impression video of Windjammer. Not a bad smoke. It smokes a little bit hotter than I really like, if you want the truth. But, again, that's my personal preferences. No biggie. Windjammer, my personal thought is to get a 2-ounce tub of it, a 2-ounce tin, and try it yourself. It is not a bad price. Where I got it was like $11, $12. And I mean, you might like it. That hint of rum is kind of interesting to me. Um, Definitely a full-bodied smoke. Uh, Good nicotine content. Once you get down to the bottom of that first third, the smoke becomes thicker too. Thicker and more viscous. So it's not a bad feeling to the smoke. Nuttiness, rum, a super, I would say basic tobacco flavor, but I think it would be more along the lines of a classic tobacco flavor. It's actually a really nice blend. It's just not my personal preference at the moment. So give this a try, guys. I think some of you might actually really enjoy this, especially if your palate is more developed than mine is. Which honestly isn't hard. I've only been steady into pipe smoking for what, 3 years now? 2 years, something like that. Some of you guys could, I don't know, taste just about anything. And one guy in particular comes to mind that has exceedingly sensitive taste buds, it would seem. Isn't that right, Paladin? But if if you guys like Englishes or want to try Englishes, this might be a good deal for you, because that hint of rum actually is intriguing to me, which is why I'm going to try another bowl before I decant it. And I want to see if I can pick up any other nuances other than just the hint of rum. And the nuts. They mentioned dried fruit on there, and there's a couple of blends that I really do like that have that dried fruit flavor, and I want to see if I can pick up on that before I decant this. But for my tastes, I think this would go really good with some age on it. I mean, 1, 2, 3 years worth of age on this, I think would really be choice. Anyway, love you guys. Talk to you later. Peace. I'm out.